Hey everybody, it's Charlie James, and this is Charlie James Unscripted. Of course it's unscripted. I'm driving in my car, right? I can't have a script in front of me, no matter how much technology they have in these things these days. They just don't have a teleprompter. I saw something right before I left the studio today that the president is asking for tech companies, social media companies, to help detect potential mass shooters. Now, I really have a problem with reactionary knee-jerk legislation or knee-jerk proposals to deal with a crisis like we had, of course, with Dayton and El Paso this past weekend. But giving more power to the social media companies to spy on us, that gives me the creeps. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I mean, these guys are already spying on us at every single level. Your phone's listening to you. But it's one of those things that in this day and age, you're just going to have to assign yourself to that happens. There's been a lot of talk about that with the new 5G that's coming up. They'll know everywhere you go and whatever you're doing. I don't know. It's just the world that we live in, but that doesn't make it any less scary, does it? No, it doesn't. But the president asking for social media companies to try to detect. So what are they going to write a terrorist algorithm or something like that? I have no idea. I really don't. I don't know how they would do that. But I do think it would open the door to more surveillance on American citizens to be spied on. I mean, you aren't, chances are you're not out there violating the law today. You're not planning on violating the law today. Why should social media be looking through your accounts, or whatever you type in is now going to be, what is it going to be recorded? Is it going to be stored? Where is it going to be stored? Who has access to this information, and how can they get it? I mean, that's it. Remember when the NSA, they came along and they said, oh, well, we're not listening to your cell phone conversations. We're just recording the calls that you make. And if we see a pattern, and of course, all of this came about after 9/11 and all of that. It worries me. It does worry me a lot. But there are groups of people out there that are looking to do harm in this country and across the world. One of the big things that I haven't really heard about a whole lot, and Trey Harrell and I talked about this morning a little bit, was this incel movement. Incel. Yeah, it's involuntary celibacy. That's what it is. Involuntary celibacy. And it's this group of people that is very upset because they can't find someone to have relations with. For whatever reason. Maybe they're unattractive, or they have a really horrible personality, or whatever the reason is, they can't find a potential mate even though they want one. Now, there are some people out there that practice voluntary celibacy, but these are the involuntary celibates out there. Used to have a word for that in college, called it a dry spell, but hey, that's just the way it is these days. But this group was actually started back in 1993 by a woman. A woman started this group. And I'm sitting there thinking about, what was I doing on the internet in 1993? I think maybe I had just gotten AOL, America Online. Some of you older folks remember that, getting those discs and 100 free hours of AOL and things like that, and you had to dial it up and all of that. Well, this woman started this incel group there, and it's kind of evolved into this, some of these, I don't know, message boards and things like that, where they really vent their frustration, and they do it in some very scary and potentially dangerous ways. So again, there are groups out there like this. I mean, they post rape list and things like that. It's really disgusting what's going on there. But it all goes into one of the things that we've been talking about mental health. We've got an entire, and I'm wondering, if you look at the incel movement, what's who would be the oldest person in this group? Would it be somebody in the baby boomer age category, or is it mostly young millennials that are in groups like this? I mean, again, it was started in 1993. I don't know. I just don't know. But it seems like we have raised an entire group of young people who cannot deal with rejection. God help them when they get into the workforce. God help them if they get into sales or any other type of a marketing situation where you're told no on a constant basis. I mean, my goodness, how many voiceover auditions do I do on a monthly basis where they go, you're just not quite right for what we're looking for. You got to learn to deal with rejection. But they're being sheltered by mommy and daddy, and they're told that they're great and they're wonderful and everything they do is awesome and they're going to be a big star one day. And when that reality hits them, it's a pretty good slap in the face, and they don't know how to handle it because they've never had to. That's scary. It really is. It really is. We're in a brand new world, folks. It gets scarier by the day. I'm Charlie James. This is Unscripted.